We had visit from the Nintendo people here in the HQ, and where basically they were talking about, okay, we have this new platform coming. I think we all looked at each other in the room. There was no one actually say yes, no. We all looking at each other in the eyes, and everybody was like, yeah, it'll be cool. It was super cool. And everybody was kind of excited. And basically, we didn't commit necessarily yet to make it first day one. But basically, what happened is, since I was in the room, I inherited the task to figure it out if it was possible to make this game. So I basically was in the secret room and trying to figure out, like, okay, does it make sense to make a Cyberpunk? Will it actually run? Will it be a good experience? And we quickly decided that it is definitely possible. And then after that, we discussed with Nintendo, and marketing and everything started to align. And we decided that, okay, let's be ambitious. We'll try to be there at launch. For us, it was fine. We didn't need necessarily an army of dev kits. We just needed one, two to just get us started. And then when we needed more, we communicated with them and we aligned when, and we just scaled up as the project went. Yeah, it's always very hard to know before having the game running, to know what you can get from the hardware. What surprised me is that it didn't take us that much time to get it running. So from the inception of me working, making just the infrastructure to make it work, compile, from my lead and rendering guy coming to now, together trying to have a triangle on screen, right? So it didn't take us like that much time. Of course, it was difficult to know the difference between, at the beginning, in theory, is it also going to work on when you're connected to the TV, and handheld, or docked, sorry. But yeah, I think it took us a few months to get everything running, and then after that, this last challenge was the cartridge. At first, it was quite clear the limitation of a cartridge was, they were quite upfront. This is going to be 64 gig cartridge. For us, Phantom Liberty right now was at 90, if I remember. With Phantom Liberty, we wanted to have both together. So, as a gamer, we all knew that we think it's not very good to have the game and code in the box, or just a code in the box. So we tried to figure out how it works. And one of my engineer, Adrian, is a collector, physical collector. So he was really wanted. We will do everything we can to make it work. So we did a lot of effort to try to, since we wanted to have not the game and Phantom Liberty, we could merge the two products together. There's a lot of assets that were duplicated for various reasons. So we could limit the number of duplication there. There's a few movies that are high resolution, and we had to decide, okay, it's too high resolution, so we did reduce a little bit the quality there. So we did a lot of experiment to limit as much as possible. And finally, the language was another big issue that we need to resolve, because it's one of our unique selling points, right? We have a lot of language, and we want to continue having a lot of language. But every language with all the voiceover is very expensive on disk, so we needed to make a choice, and we decided to limit the number. On cartridge, you have the default language, but then you need to download the language that you want optionally, and we thought it was a good compromise. I think Nintendo is quite good at managing their hardware, so I'm expecting that for their product they will still be fitting in cartridge. I don't think we'll have to be scared about that. I think the main issue is definitely when you get to our universe a little bit, where we go forward, but really the new console will be coming in a few years, right? The PC is also never stopping, and unfortunately sometimes the quality of asset is very hard to keep into 64 gig for Cyberpunk, and going forward it's definitely a challenge, and I can imagine that our next title, if we want to get more ambitious, more quality, it would be extremely difficult to be on 64 gigabytes. For sure, downloadable will always be an option. However, of course, having 256 gig on a drive, SSD on the console makes it very difficult to have more than one game, right? But we had the same issue also on our original Switch. We have 32 gigs, so our Witcher 3 is 32 gig. So it's difficult to download it. Hopefully the micro SD Express will be bigger and bigger, so people will be able to have bigger games, but I can definitely imagine that on our universe, on third parties, if you want to have the game running might be difficult to fit on 64 gig. Yeah.
I think Hitman was the biggest offender for me on the Switch too. That was a whole lot of game.
Yeah.
Well, I guess it's 3 games in one, so it kind of...
Yeah, true. I don't know, maybe there could be a, you get a cartridge, but then you need to download optionally some content. Who knows, maybe some people will get clever, but yeah. It's not a foreign trend, because if you think that even on PS5 you have like, you put your Blu-rays, but then in the end you figure out you need to download the whole game. Yeah. It's more an unlocking, like this game key card, right? So it's not a new thing, unfortunate thing I think, but that's a reality we have to live in now. Yeah, it's definitely better than the PS4, but it's definitely not as good as the PS5. Like that's 100% sure. I mean, it's a mobile device, right? It's a 10 to 20 watt device versus PS5, which is 200 plus. So I think for what it consumes in power, it's great. It's been between PS4 and Series S. When we discuss with Nintendo, again, it's the way hardware works usually is, it's not like they have an absolute goal, they design the chip and they aim to the goal. They design the chip and then they put power and they figure out what we have. So at the beginning they had ambition to hit more serious, and they were quite upfront with us, like they're still exploratory with the hardware. They knew they wanted to be more in PS4. Will they be able to hit more serious? In the end, not as much, but I think it's a good compromise. I think it's a very good compromise, again, for a mobile device. PS5 definitely has the edge, but again, on PC, yeah. If you compare to Steam Deck, I think it's more comparable. I do think it's a bit, for us, I think we managed to get something better in the Series, in Steam Deck. But of course, Steam Deck has also its advantage, so it's hard, it's not black and white.